happy Saturday snowy night for most of us. Well, let's see what kind of fun it is. Nothing like having a little bit of sleet the day after I start putting a whole bunch of seedlings in. So let's kind of see if I then Jacob's given me my 5x5 already, and so we're good. And of course, I forgot to mute. There we go. All right, so got that done. All right. So, as per normal, want to touch on a couple of housekeeping things. Say hello to everybody. Jacob, right now, I see you're the only mod in here, so hopefully the other guys show up here pretty quick, and otherwise, we'll keep you from going absolutely crazy. Ricky Beerlair, I saw you throw a super chat in before I even started, so thank you very much for that. Start the night out that way. Okay, so I wanted to touch on a couple of housekeeping items as per normal. First one, just in case anybody has not seen this, okay, we have the Domestic Terrorism Prevention Act of 2021, which came out this week. And I just want y'all to keep an eye on what's going on with this one because this is basically an assault on your First Amendment rights. I mean, they're trying to say it's after January 6th and all of this, but yeah, they're going to target Christians, evangelicals, pro-life people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, you know, ironically, you get Tulsi Gabbard, a Democrat, though, I mean, I'll give her credit. She's at least a moderate Democrat, is coming out against all of this. So that's good. So hopefully this thing dies on the vine. But, with Biden signing 40 executive orders in his first week and a half, all sorts of new records, who knows what they're going to do. So just wanted to let you guys know to kind of take a look into that. I'm not going to go into in depth on it or anything like that because it hasn't passed, but just so you know what's going out there. The other thing to talk about, and this one does affect a lot of us, okay? We all saw the stock market chaos this week with GameStop. Okay. I touched on it a little bit on a video a couple of days ago and the market manipulation going on by all these Reddit raiders. Okay. If you haven't seen this, okay, their next target is to go after the silver market. And I know a lot of us buy silver. Okay. I'm just going to say this. Do not get caught up in that buying frenzy. All right. If anything, sell into the strength and wait till it comes back and pulls back and you buy your silver back. Okay. Maybe you make a little bit of money. But I mean, if all of a sudden silver goes, what was it? I think it was like 27, 28 bucks on Friday. If all of a sudden silver is $60, $70, sell your silver, take the cash, park the cash, wait a month till it backs down to normal price and buy 3 times as much. Okay. Because it's going to come back. All right. Nothing goes up astronomically like that. If silver goes up to $60, $70, it ain't staying there, guys. This is just them trying to short squeeze Wall Street again. So just keep an eye on that. I'm watching it. If anything gets crazy in there, there's a lot of short interest in silver on Wall Street right now because you've seen that run up from about 23 to 27, 28 here in just about a week or so. But if it goes crazy like GameStop does, go take some profit off the table. I'm not giving you financial advice. Okay. I'm just telling you as a fellow prepper and a friend, don't if you see it, oh my God, it's going to 30, 40, I've got to buy some before it goes crazy. No. I mean, again, like I said in my video the other day, the way that you're going to do this, you sell when it's high, you buy when it's low. Don't try to chase it. That's how you'll lose your shorts. All right. So just wanted to kind of give you guys all of that. See, Jeep has got in here, and I thought I saw, yep, Indiana Preppers too. Looks like his YouTube sabbatical is over, so good to see you guys both back in here. Jacob obviously here, so we got some of the friends. Haven't seen Sean pull in yet, but he will probably pop in here pretty soon. So that being said, just kind of go out there and give you all of that, and welcome to everybody. A lot of familiar faces in here. I love Voodoo Queen Herbalism's comment here. She's doubling the size of her garden from 30 by 60 to 60 by 60. All right, 3,600 square feet of garden. That's a lot of garden. I mean, I thought I had a lot of garden. Now you've got, 175% of what I've got here. So with 2 pounds of green beans, you're going to be eating a lot of green beans there, right here. So, but good. And like she said, anybody else going nuts on their garden? I'm hoping a lot of you guys are. I'm hoping some of the tips I gave you this morning. So a lot of people who like the sweet potato stuff. We'll be getting into some more probably in about 2 weeks. I want to show you how to do peas in a rain gutter. There's some other couple of tips and tricks that I want to show you. And then obviously as these seeds come up, I will kind of show you how to train them, do everything that you need to do, and some tricks on for planting them. So we'll go through all of that. It'll be you know how this channel works. It's like you never know what you're going to get every day. So, all of a sudden one day I'd be like, oh, okay, you know what? Here's the onions. Boom, we're going to do whatever we do with the onions. So just keep an eye out and it'll be there. Somebody also asked me to make a playlist on the channel of all the gardening. So I did that this afternoon. So if you're looking for any of the gardening videos, there is a specific playlist now entitled gardening, and you can go back and look for, the soil, the seed starting soil recipe, or my garden soil recipe, or grow lights, or whatever it would be. So I will keep putting stuff in there so you have a quick reference, so you're not having to look through everything again. So, okay, so that's where we got. So we will go into our normal routine, I guess, and just we will take questions. But hope everybody's got a little bit of libation. Somebody had commented earlier today that their wine was done and it tasted really good. So I will drink one with you here. All right, and as you guys were all starting about the weather, I'm right there with you. As I said at the top, it was sleet and everything here this afternoon. So, 62 degrees on Tuesday and, sleet and snow today. Go figure. So, welcome to the Grand Solar Minimum. All right, let's kind of go through. And as usual, guys, if you have questions, please put them in all caps. I scroll through looking for the caps to find questions. So, that's just going to be the easiest way for me to find it. It looks like we got people from all over the place. I saw Washington State, bunch from North Carolina, Texas. Here's Gillette, Wyoming. Saw somebody up in Massachusetts, Central Iowa. So yeah, we're all over the place. Oh, Ricky. Okay, if I pronounced your last name right, I hope so. Okay, I tried. So give it my best shot. 'Cause God knows I can butcher a name with the best of them. Let's see. Okay, all the hellos. Did they find Pelosi's laptop? Yeah, they did, and they're actually charging the woman who stole it with felonies. She actually is forbidden from using the internet, and the only way she is allowed to talk to her lawyer is on her mother's phone, which will be monitored. So, yeah, they're going after her hard on doing that. Jacob, get rich quick ploys never work out. Yeah, I saw a story today on some 10-year-old kid, I think it was, whose mom gave him 10 shares of GameStop for Kwanzaa in 2019. She bought it at like $6 a share, so $60. Okay, I did the same thing with my daughter when she was born. I bought her 10 shares in Disney. And she said, oh, the other day, all of a sudden, those 10 shares were worth $3,200. And so, the kid sold the shares and put $2,200 in his bank account and kept the other $1,000 to invest. Okay, good. Kid's 10 years old. He's going to learn a little bit about how the economy works. He's ahead of 99% of the rest of the population because obviously nobody ever taught us any of that sort of stuff. But yeah, get rich quick ploys never work out. I'll absolutely agree with you, Jacob. Investing is like prepping. It's a destination, or it's a journey, not a destination. So, do whatever. But if the opportunity presents itself where you just got a huge windfall, take it, and don't lose a minute's sleep about it. Like I said about silver, if silver all of a sudden doubles on Monday morning, take your profits and run. If it goes up from there, fine. Who cares? All right, wait for it to come down. Don't cry over spilt milk. Gee, you just made, I don't know, say $1,000. Don't whine that you didn't make $1,500. You just made $1,000 for doing nothing. So you're never going to pick the tops. You're never going to pick the bottoms. Don't don't lose sleep like that. So, all right. Let's see. Where are we? Do. Okay. Looks like a Madoff Ponzi scheme. Yeah, I mean, it's all gonna. The thing is, all these kids that bought all this GameStop, it's going to come crashing down. Hopefully, they can sell out of it, and at least not lose too much money. But like I said the other day, they're playing with mom and dad's money. It's like some of them will make some money. A lot of them are going to lose their ass. So, America First. Oh, you nailed the stripers today, huh? Big 22-pound striper. Nice hit. Okay, liking that. I've never caught one that big. That's for sure. Amy, love the seed video. Glad you did. There will be more to come. So as we do other plants and stuff like that, and there's different ways of doing different things. If it's the same stuff over and over, I'm not going to show you how to do it. But there are different things on how to do different plants. And I just wanted to put this out, guys. Okay. I totally understand that there's a whole bunch of people on here that are a hell of a lot better gardeners than me. Please understand there's a whole bunch of people that are new to this too that are on the channel. So I try to bring it out for everybody, people that are new to something, new to prepping, new to gardening, whatever. Sometimes I will talk about things like that because there's people that can benefit from it. Some people are way ahead of the curve, some people aren't. And, for you that are way ahead of the curve, hey, maybe it's a good refresher, or I didn't think about something like that, or, oh yeah, I forgot. But, just understand that's the reason I'm doing it. I'm trying to make this community beneficial to everybody, and I don't want anybody to feel left out going, oh my God, I don't even know what he's talking about. So that's why I try to do it, okay? I'm trying to be as helpful as I can for as many people as I can, as fast as I can, because this is important to me. America First, you already have beets and carrots coming up. Okay, you gotta be either in southern Texas or Florida or something of the sort like that, because the rest of us aren't even ready to start anything like that, let alone have them come up. Chief Jim, 6 to 12 inches of snow coming, no gardening soon. Exactly the opposite. Like I said, sleet today. So, where else we got? Pennsylvania EMT, fruit and nut trees. Yeah, you should have planted those in the fall. If not, if you can plant them now, you're still fine. You don't want to be planting your trees in the spring. You want to get those trees planted in the fall or in the wintertime. And you're probably getting to the point of too late to plant them, because you need them to get that dormancy period over the winter to work on roots, so they're not trying to grow leaves and everything like that in the springtime. You wanted them to be working on roots. So hopefully you've got all your fruits and nut trees in. If you don't, get them in this weekend. But good luck digging through a lot of the frozen ground too. TJ's in the house. Hey, TJ. Okay, where else we going? Pennsylvania Prepper just got a stimulus today. Go to the home improvement tomorrow to buy the lumber for 3 10x4 gardens. Already have the seeds and lucky to have a good sword supplier and everything. So I told you guys last week about one of my neighbors who works, guy in my mag works for a house builder. And so we went to get this lumber today. I kid you not, I got a pickup truck load of 2x4s and 2x6s. I probably got retail value $1,000 to $1,500 worth of perfectly good lumber for nothing. So whatever I need to build for a while, I'm okay. But again, keep your eyes out for free stuff. This was all going to go in the dumpster. There were 16-foot 2x4s I was cutting in half to make them 8-footers. Okay. But this was just scrap that they were going to throw out from building a neighborhood. And he said, we can go take whatever we want. We did. Grab it when you can get it, because 6 months from now when I need it, it might not be there. But now 6 months from now when I might need it, I got it. Okay. Naomi Moran, I'm in Australia, hot weather here at the moment. Well, yeah, you're in the middle of summer. We're not. Pat Gilchrist, when do we get to meet Mrs. Pinball? If and when we ever get to the borscht recipe, we will get there. Uh, okay, I got to try to figure this one out. Plus, plus Sella Mimi Chews. Okay, I'm probably hacking that one up like crazy, but you're in the Virgin Islands. Okay, I think you're the first subscriber from the Virgin Islands here. So welcome aboard. Eric from Eastern Tennessee. Oh, here we go. Everybody's, let's see, Western Maryland, Ohio, Kentucky, North Alberta. You know, cold. Ohio, Prescott, Arizona. Chief Jim, should we buy silver coins or does it matter what form? Okay, there's two schools of thought on this. You know, some people are like, oh, you want to buy the pretty coins and they're nice and shiny and everything like that. I personally, I'm on the other side. I don't care. I want the silver content. If it's 0.999% silver, I'm all over it. I don't care if it's the ugliest damn thing in the world. I'm buying it for the weight of the silver, not for how pretty the coin is. Okay. You know, there was a channel one time that says, oh, buy the coins that say Proud Boys. People will want them more. I don't care about that. Okay. I'm buying it for the weight of the silver. All right. I don't use that as a perfect example. Okay. Let's say the person that you're trying to sell the silver from is a raving lunatic Democrat. They're not going to want that silver coin. It's worth nothing to them. Okay. You know, I don't care if it's a block of silver. If it's solid silver, buy it. You know, and if you can get, maybe you get it cheaper. Don't pay a premium for a pretty coin. You know, you're not going to get that premium back. You know, you're going to get the value of the silver. Big B preps in Ohio waiting for the snowstorm. I think pretty much all the Midwest and the Northeast is waiting to get hammered. Grumpy old man, Texas is really trying to secede. If they do, will other states follow? Yeah, Texas is going to, if they can get everybody to sign it and do whatever, it'll go in the ballot. And uh, honestly, I think if Texas does, a lot of other states will follow because, mind you, this, guys, the rest of the states know if Texas does manage to secede, there's never another Republican president in Washington again. Okay. It's just done, at least not for a generation or two, because, you know, Texas, Florida, and Ohio are the three big ones that the Republicans have to win to even have a chance at winning the election. I mean, Trump won all three, Texas, Florida, and Ohio, and still lost. Now take off the, was it 36 or 38 electoral votes that Texas has? You know, you can't make that up. So I think the other states will see that and go, if Texas goes, we want to follow suit. That's where I've said before, that's where you get balkanization. That's when it happens. If Texas manages to pull out, that's when I think you have the country split into three. Susan Williams, I don't know. Do I know anything comfrey? I don't know. What do you mean by comfrey? It's got to be a typo. Becky Reed, why do people keep mentioning March 24th? That's another Q thing. It started out March 4th, then it was March 6th, now it's March 24th, that there's supposedly this miracle thing that's going to happen and Biden's no longer going to be president and it's all a bunch of BS. And, you know, of course, the politicians in Washington are like, oh, we've got to protect Washington because there's going to be some sort of riot, you know, or something like that. Just ignore it. Okay. Nothing's going to happen. I mean, Bruce Sear, I heard Russia has an EMP missile ready to go. EMPs have been around since World War II, guys. I mean, it's just a nuclear missile that's exploded in the atmosphere rather than detonated at ground level. That's all it is. Okay. I mean, Russia's got them. We've got them. I mean, it's not a big deal. Just where it explodes. That's all it is. So, not a big deal that somebody's got them. They've had them for what, 75 years? Whoops, scroll too far. Sorry, I got to go back up here. Okay, here we go. Glenn Anderson, never get emotional over stocks. Yeah, I mean, technically you own part of the company, okay, but you and me and any other individual investor, you get your proxy notice. Oh, you can vote for who the chairman of the board is going to be. Your vote doesn't mean squat, okay. So unless you own the company, literally, as in you're running it, all that is an investment. You can get in and out anytime, the liquidity to it. Yeah, don't get emotional over it. It's just, fine. I remember, back in the day when I was a broker, and oh my God, everybody wanted to buy America Online and everybody was making a boatload of money and buying AOL. Yeah, okay. Not anymore. It's a great investment in the late 90s. Now it's gone. It's like, oh my God, I love it. Doesn't exist anymore. So a lot of companies like that. I mean, think about them. Kodak, Xerox. All these companies that used to be huge. Singer Sewing Machines. They were huge companies. Walgreens. Walgreens is still a good sized company, but these are what used to be darlings, or General Electric used to be widows and orphans stock. And now there's a lot of them you don't want to touch with a 10-foot pole. I mean, I bet GE's still not over $10 a share. Yeah, Southern Bell teacher, exactly. In the market, don't get greedy and avoid fear of missing out. Yeah, exactly. Don't chase anything. Okay. If you got it, great. If you want some more of it, get it. Okay, but just slow and steady wins the race. Bruce Sear, what's up with BLM getting the Nobel Peace Prize? Okay, if that happened, I did not hear about that today. That's so now we get a Nobel Peace Prize for burning down cities, huh? Okay, what's next? The Nobel Terrorist Prize? Vicky Savage, I wonder how many copies of Pelosi's hard drive were made. Be interesting if any of them ever got out. Nellie Thursday, do I think that AOC should be reprimanded for her tweet to Ted Cruz? That was about as scum. I mean, the woman's a piece of scum as is. Okay, but I mean, she stepped to all new lows as is. She said something that I agreed with. Ted Cruz agreed with. I think a lot of people agreed with. This needed to be looked into. But then to come out and say something as shitty as she did. Oh, you tried to have me murdered 2 weeks ago. All right, lady, get bent. Okay, you ain't that important. Nobody, congratulations. You're a Twitter superstar. Okay, but you're a twit. We all know that too. Okay, nobody takes you seriously. You just have all these, 20-something millennials who think you're brilliant, and anybody with half a brain knows you're a moron. But yeah, she should absolutely be reprimanded. We'll see, how well that one goes. CMAX. Oh, okay. Good evening. Sorry, not a problem that you're late. You're currently on a break, finishing up painting the mudroom, so I'm in and out tonight. No problem. We got everybody else's here, so go back and get your painting done. Let's see where we got here. Amy says that's awesome, and God knows when it was, because something was, but okay. I'm gonna take a guess. It was probably on the lumber story. Patriot Ref, generic silver 0.999, doesn't matter what's on it. You're not a collector. It's the silver content. Exactly what I'm saying. Totally agree with you there. Jacob says the same thing. Lisa Preps, where do you buy the coins? You can go to any. I mean, you see these on TV. You can do that. Some of these mints or whatever it is. Go to a pawn shop. Go to a local coin shop. Okay, and just make sure that it is 0.9999 silver, and have them weigh it there in front of you. They're used to doing all this. They know exactly what it is. So. And then you're going to pay some sort of premium over spot price. Anybody can look online, go to investing.com, and you can pull up the price of silver to the second. You'll pay a couple of bucks premium. That's the commission that the store is going to make, for selling you the silver. Sure, understand the guys that are there to make a business too, or profit too. It's his small business. We want to support the small business. But don't let them gouge you. If the spot price of silver is $28, the guy says I want 33, tell him, no, I'll give you 30, and we'll go from there. So let's see. Whoops. Scroll the right screen. Oh, anybody about comfrey? Okay. Are you talking about like the cover crops that you're going to plant over the fall? Comfrey is a good cover crop to plant in there, but whether I wouldn't doubt after the video I did, I learned so much from the video I did on medicinal herbs the other day and everything that you guys said. I wouldn't doubt comfrey's got 12 different medicinal uses that I don't know about. Uh, but yeah, that one I don't know. Sorry, can't help you on there. There, the medicinal herb stuff, that one I'm very amateurish at learning. I wanted to put that video out so y'all could share some stuff and teach me some stuff, and y'all did a wonderful job, so that helped. So learning taught me some stuff that I need to plant and wrote down and everything. Yeah, CMAX Q is still going. I mean, just and there's still people that are following them, and still people that are, you know, retweeting, reposting all their insane stuff. I mean, they're still coming up and saying, "Oh yeah, Biden's still going to get pulled out of office, and Trump's going to get put back in the White House," and completely delusional crap. Right? Face it, Biden's in the White House for better or worse. He's there. Okay, guy's a moron. We all know that. We survived Obama. We're going to have to survive this guy too. So prep accordingly. Okay. Okay, here we go. Caught up. Ricky, yeah, if they drop an EMP, we'll know. Yeah, exactly. When you're driving down a road and all of a sudden your car stops, yeah, you'll know. All of a sudden, all the lights in the house go off and nothing's working. Okay, not your cell phone either. It's got battery charge. Yeah, you'll know. When 20 minutes later, everybody's out in the street going, "What the hell's going on?" You'll know. Vicky Savage says there's an abundance of information about Comfrey available online. Good, because I'm not. Trust me, I'm not the one to ask about that one. CKOC, you just put a big pot of lentils on your wood stove, big skillet of cornbread in the morning. Oh yes, there you go. Can I come over for breakfast? Or actually lunch. I don't want lentils for breakfast, but the cornbread I do. CMAX, I'm tempted to get the stocks that are down for travel and entertainment. And once the jab is out in full force, they'll start opening back up, but everyone's going to be broke. I don't know. You got to see which ones are going to survive. That's the thing. There's already hotel chains that are on the verge of filing bankruptcy, and last thing you want to do is get stuck in something like that where, you bought into a hotel stock. I'm not going to pick one, and all of a sudden 2 days later the company says, "Boof, we filed bankruptcy," and you just lost everything. So, yeah, wait till they're out of the woods, and you see what an annual report looks like, or at least a quarterly. And they're like, "Okay, we're back, we're turning a profit," then go in. Again, you might not going to get the bottom, but you might still get it low enough. So, AOC thinks the color purple tastes like grapes. Cute. Did Jeff ask something on there? It's English, the rest of you guys out there. Okay. I saw somebody pop in my email up there. Jeff Welch had a question, but I don't see what it was. So, okay. Okay, and Amy said, yes, it was the lumber. Okay. Yeah, AOC puts the twit in Twitter. America First, Pinball. I have a whole crap load of Mercury dimes. What's the silver content on those? No, I don't. But again, if you take them in any coin shop, they're going to be able to tell you what they are. And again, 1 year could be worth more than another year. I mean, they could be worth more than the silver content. They're not going to be worth less, but depending on where the dime was struck, depending on what year it was, I'd take those to a coin shop and let them take a look and say, this one's worth silver content, this one's worth silver content, this one's a collectible, poof, this one's worth $50, whatever it would be. Crap, scrolled again. Yeah, we're keeping up. Okay, Setter says Mercury dimes are 90%. Every dollar is 71.712 ounces. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people know that. 90%, 90%, 90%. Dragonflies Ozark Homestead. I have some scallions in a dish in the kitchen window. They have roots and are already sprouting. I need them to get them soil. I didn't expect them to even sprout. Yeah, you can grow onions and green onions and stuff like that from the cuttings from your, you buy a bunch of green onions or whatever. You cut the bottoms off. You eat the rest of it. You can put those in water. They'll sprout and they'll regrow. You can put them in dirt and they'll regrow. You're not going to get onion bulbs out of them, but you'll get all the scallions and the green onions you want. I mean, if you take a bulb onion and cut the bottom off of it, where the roots are, stick that in the dirt, that'll grow. It'll give you green onions. It's not going to give you another bulb, but literally you can grow all the green onions in the world you want. I mean, nonstop, because they'll just keep growing. You can cut them, they'll keep growing and growing and growing and growing. So, uh, Morris Family Adventures. I should go for for an interview on Van Vita Travels. I'd be a good interview on her channel. Okay, I don't understand why. Don't know the channel, so I don't know what she talks about. But all right. Eric the Red, Prepping 101 is doing a live stream discussing Q, and I thought Q was called out as a hoax 2 years ago. Q is a hoax, guys. Okay, just like I said, I know there's some channels out there that want to grasp onto all these straws. Q is they're just conspiracy theorists, okay, and not even conspiracy theorists that have an air of plausibility to it. It's like they're like the guy who stands there with the sandwich board, going, "The end of the world is nigh." One of these decades or centuries or millennia, he's gonna be right, okay, but it's no different than saying, well, the Mayans said the world's going to end here and the Aztecs end the world. Oh, great. Nostradamus and everybody, a broken clock is wrong 2 times a day. So, or is right 2 times a day. It's wrong the rest of the time. Q is just a bunch of lunatics who have nothing better to do, and guys peddling their crap don't deserve a second of your time. So, don't listen to anything coming out of Q is BS. Wow, you had a 5-gallon bucket full of those dimes and a bunch of wheat pennies. Yeah, I'd definitely be taking those over to the coin shop and see what they're worth. Oops. Okay. SV Whisper, how likely is an EMP attack? Well, all right, I'm going to give you, it's more likely than a nuclear attack, okay? And I'll give you the reason why, okay? I've said it on a couple other videos before. I really don't see any of them as highly possible. They're definitely plausible, okay? I think if any way that the United States is attacked, it's going to be economically, and we're already seeing that, okay? The reason I'd say an EMP is more likely than a nuclear attack is for this. If an EMP goes off, it knocks out the electrical grid, okay? Yes, the people all still survive, but the land still survives. And the land is what other countries want more than anything else. I mean, the fertile soil and the farmland, okay? That's still our greatest asset in the United States, is we can feed ourselves. Most other countries can't, all right? So, any other country, be it, I mean, not that Iran is, going to be able to take over the United States, but, China, okay, China would want the U.S. land, not because they want the picturesque Rocky Mountains, they'd want the farmland. That's what's got more value to them. So, dropping a warhead on Omaha, Nebraska doesn't do any good. You just turned everything, radioactive, no big deal. But if they can take out the population, the grid, which inevitably would take out a good chunk of the population, and then swoop in a year or two later once we basically starved our way out of existence, they haven't done any damage to the property, and then they can use it. So it's definitely plausible. It's possible, but it's not probable. Let's put it that way. But, again, who knows? I mean, it could go off at 2 o'clock in the morning tonight, for all I know. Uh, but honestly, I'd say if you went on ENP, the top five massive disasters that we could have, that would be one of the top five. That was the most plausible. I mean, economic, pandemic, those are definitely the top two. Uh, then you get some sort of natural disasters. You could get Yellowstone blow off or something like that. But I mean, yeah, a natural disaster and an EMP probably pretty close. A nationwide national disaster and an EMP probably pretty close to the same odds in my idea. Okay, let's see, back to where I was. Gotta find you guys again. Oops, I think I scrolled up too much. Oh, I scrolled up way too much. Okay, coming back down. There we go. Grumpy old man, can states become sanctuary states so they do not have to comply with these stupid upcoming federal gun laws? That's going to be interesting to see, because a lot of states have already declared themselves sanctuary states for the gun laws and everything, free speech sanctuary states, et cetera, and they're following the exact same models that California followed. Said, "Oh, we're a sanctuary state for illegal aliens and all this sort of crap." So we'll see how it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We'll see how this plays out. But this whole House bill that was put up by what the hell's the idiot who wears the cowboy hat from Texas? Looks like a clown. I can't think of her name. That put up this House bill was a 127 or whatever it is. It's not going anywhere. Okay, again. They're not coming to get your weapons. They're not. It's not feasible logistically. Okay. The only feasible way they can do it is tax the hell out of it or restrict production. Okay, that's it. But I think I said the other day, if every cop and every military personnel, including all the cooks and the admins and the mechanics and everybody, every single one of them was on board and went out and did this, each one of them would have to confiscate something like 1,900 weapons apiece. Okay. Every single one. It's just not going to happen. Okay. So, like I said, the most logical way, if they want to restrict firearms in the United States, is by restricting ammo, by just stopping making ammo. And that is probably the way to do it. But of course, their answer is let's tax it because we want money. That doesn't solve the problem, but it brings more money. And that's their thought. It's like, oh, okay, people will still let them buy it. They just have to pay a lot of money, kind of like cigarettes. Cigarettes are now what, $10 a pack in so many places or whatever. And tobacco's not that much more expensive, but the taxes on it are so absolutely ridiculous. If cigarettes kill more people than guns, okay, if cigarettes are so bad, why haven't they outlawed cigarettes? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because the government gets so much tax money off of it. That's all it is, guys. Okay, this isn't a way to take anything away. They're just trying to figure out an excuse to get enough people behind them so they can raise your taxes. Remember, the Democrats have never met a tax they don't like. They tax the air we breathe if they could figure out how to do it. Okay. Amy Arsenault asked, do I know anything about ramps? It's a wild onion. Never even heard of it. Lisa Preps, 10 years ago, I remember people saying collect nickels. Is that still a thing? I doubt it. Nickels what are nickels made out of? Zinc now? They're, again, the reason they stopped are slowing down, if you will, on making pennies or not making pennies out of copper anymore is because there was more copper. There was more than 1 cent of copper in a penny. So the government was actually losing money making pennies. Nickels were, I guess, made out of nickel. I think they were at one point, but, now they're, soon to be made out of aluminum, I wouldn't doubt. Uh, Gibson girl that grew walking onions, loved them. Yeah, walking onions are perennials. I've never grown them, but yeah, I've heard good things about walking onions. Garth, sick of the Q crap. You and me both. Uh, and of course, we just scrolled on it there. Yeah, I mean, the thing that kills me of all the Q crap is how many people are still talking about it, and it's just it, waste of time. Uh, CKOC, I live in a commonwealth. Will they have to comply like states? Yeah, I know what you're saying, like Virginia or Massachusetts or whatever, are, but yeah, they're all going to have to, you're still a state, okay? Even though you're a commonwealth, you're still, we're the United States of America. We're not the United States and Commonwealths of America. Diane S., when is Mrs. Pinball going to make her Russian soup? I'm assuming borscht. I know. I keep promising and we don't keep doing it. So we will get there. I don't know when. Bruce Sear, there's still plenty of land or house deals still in Tennessee looking to leave Massachusetts. Yeah, and they're going. I mean, people are buying it up. I mean, everything around me, I've now seen either under contract or purchased already. Now, whether people are just buying the land or whether they're planning on building it, but I mean, pretty much most of the stuff around me has been purchased, and in the last year or so. Ricky, I looked for a nuclear accident before we were attacked by one. That if something like that happened, I'd almost better be sabotaged at that point. Kevin Gaston, no, your chat's coming through. At least that one, so you're not blocked. You're there through there. Diane S., China would be responsible for an EMP attack on us. Yeah, I mean, if it would be anybody, with China or Iran, one of the two. And I mean, Iran's got to get nuclear capability, but for all intents and purposes, they may have it. Kevin Gaston went to Walmart today. Lots of veggie seeds, but no heirlooms, including Burpee. Okay. I was in Walmart, yesterday, day before yesterday, and I looked and I had tons of seeds, but I've got everything, so I didn't look in particular to see if there were any heirloom or something like that. But, okay, in a worst case scenario, guys, if you can't get heirloom seeds, get regular seeds, okay? Buy a couple of packages of them, save one package for next year, whatever it would be, until you get, plant something. Just because you can't get heirloom seeds, you can still save the seeds out of non-heirloom. You're just going to get something different. Okay. Like I said, an heirloom's a cross between two tomatoes, for example. You're going to get some of tomato A and some of tomato B. Okay. You may like them. You may hate them. Who knows what you get. You can still plant them. Okay. It's just not going to be the same as the parent plant. That's the only difference. But you can still plant them and it'll still make food. May not taste exactly the way, it may not be as disease resistant or pest resistant or something. That's why they make hybrids in the first place. But what you will notice out of your hybrid plants, your non-heirloom, your yield will usually be higher and better quality out of the hybrids than they are out of the heirlooms, just because that's what they're bred for. Okay, like I said, pest resistance, disease resistance, drought tolerance, whatever it would be, production. But heirlooms, you can save the seeds. So there's pros and cons to both sides, guys. And it's worth planting both. David Creason, any truth to the rumors of Bill Gates buying up farmland? Oh, yeah, that's absolutely true. Bill Gates is now the largest farmland owner in the United States. That was, a week or so ago when he had purchased more and got it. Diane says, everyone read the book 1 second after. Awesome book about an EMP attack. Yes, it is. I think the end, it jumped to the end too fast. It was like all of a sudden 9 months went by and like 2 pages. But it is a great book. And Ricky, thank you again. You don't have to keep doing that, but I appreciate the chat, the super chat there. Peg Leg Outdoors. Could a quake that drops California into the sea actually be called a disaster? As long as it just took like half of California, because most of Eastern California It's pretty conservative people. All right. It's the Western California, the coastal Californians. They could all drown, as far as I'm concerned. But I better not say that. I might be called a domestic terrorist here, real quick. Uh, let's see what else we got. Hudspeth bug out. I got 333.22 rounds at Walmart for $18 today. Overheard the clerk say, if anybody asked if we had 22, I said, yes, please. Uh, Good for you. When we were at Walmart the other day, we looked to see what they had in the way of ammo. They had one box of 12 gauge and three boxes of 20 gauge ammo. That was it. I didn't even look to see what it was. I mean, there wasn't a single rifle round or pistol round or anything like that in there. There's a couple of shotgun shells. That was it. Okay. It was, I mean, the funny part was, the gun case, it's Walmart. Okay. So, what is in there? A dozen rifles or whatever. Gun case was full. Congratulations, you can buy the gun, you just can't get any ammo with it. So what good in the billy club at the, congratulations, you just bought your $400, baseball bat. Let's see. Oops, it scrolled up on me again. Hang on. CKOC, they're going to round up Americans. They'll make it impossible for people who aren't prepared to make it and then sit back and wait for you to go to them. Yeah. And this has been talked about for a year. They want, if they can get all the people to move into the cities, and we've talked about this here on the channel too. Eventually, you're going to see in the rural areas, that's where the shortages of food are going to be. And they'll keep putting the food in the cities to get the people from the rural areas to move closer to the cities, because it's easier to control if we're all in one spot. Okay. So this is why prepping is so important and growing your own food, because if the store closed down and I've got all my preps and I'm growing my own food and everything and I don't need you, I'm not leaving. Sorry, you don't have any control over me. But all those people are like, oh my God, I can't buy a steak. I need to go move to the city. Congratulations. You go move to the city. I'll get your land for cheap. If Bill Gates doesn't beat me to it. Does anyone think that Jerry Nadler looks like Barney Rubble? If you see pictures of Jerry Nadler 20 years ago, he looked like one of those old Weebles dolls. Remember Weebles wobble, but they don't fall down? I mean, dude had to weigh 600 pounds. I mean, he's put on a diet and he still looks like the Goodyear blimp. America First. No, he looks like the Keebler elf. I wish he'd go find his tree and make cookies. Nah, that's insulting to the Keebler. All I can see is Barney Rubble. Walmart is getting organic instead of heirloom. I'm so sick of the organic crap because it's a seed. All right. How the fruit is going to be organic depends on how I grow it. Okay, if it's an organic seed, that's wonderful. I dump a bunch of chemicals on it. Guess what? It's not an organic fruit. Okay, but it's a seed. If I only use natural fertilizers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, then it's going to be organic fruit. So, it's like I told you about, these seed companies advertising non-GMO. Congratulations. Any seed that's sold to you or me is non-GMO seed, because the GMO stuff is sold by Monsanto to the farmer, and he has to sign this contract that says he won't save seed from it, because that's how they keep their business going. All right. So, I mean, it's, beware of some of the way they market this stuff to you. All right. Amy, I have a problem. I can't stop buying seed. If you get it cheap, just put it in the drawer and save it. I mean, somebody was telling me today about in this morning's video about planting, I think it was 7-year-old collard seeds, and they grew. So it like anything else, the prices aren't going down. If you can get them, save them. What I see? $2.64 or whatever it was for a pack of seed at Walmart. It was just like a couple of years ago, they were 99 cents. So the price of seeds tripled. Diane, yeah, Massachusetts property taxes are over $4,000. Yeah, go to New Hampshire. They're even worse. Uh, Palm tree prepper, compost tomatoes come up every year. Yeah, tell me about it. Tomatoes are the hardest damn seed to kill. I mean, you throw tomatoes in your compost pile, you're going to get volunteer tomato plants. Uh, August Blue, North Korea's a wild card. The yo-yo over there might do anything just to say he did it. Yeah, that, yeah. Kim Jong Un is not exactly what you'd call the most stable genius. Okay, where else are we? Chris Williams, little off topic. What's this I'm drinking? This is Pinball Wine, vintage November, I think this one was. So if you haven't seen the video I did a couple of months back on how to make homemade wine, there's a couple of them on there, how to make homemade wine and how to make homemade Applejack. It is extremely easy and will take you all of about 30 seconds to do, and then you just have to wait about a month for it to be done. Okay. And a good tasting bottle of wine will cost you about $2. And I got lots of people on here who've made it who can vouch for me that it's pretty good. So, Amy, you just finished the audio 1 second after onto the next of the series. Yeah, I just started reading 1 year after. I think I'm a couple of chapters into it right now. No, I did not hear about Highway 1 in California having a mudslide taken out. I remember driving Highway 1 quite a bit when I was stationed in Monterey. We'd take Highway 1 down the coast all the time and just, all the way down to San Luis Obispo. Vicky Savage, there are ways of cultivating crops to rebuild the soil rather than degrade it. The world can be fed sustainably by such means. They do not include CAFOs. No kidding. Yes, exactly. And, you'll hear me preach a lot about that, about, composting the plants and, making your compost piles and using all that green matter that you get to turn into fertilizer, everything. It's the best stuff that you're gonna get. It takes a little bit of work, but it's just a little bit of work, and you might as well do it. I mean, composting is not rocket science. It's you know, chop up your lawn clippings, your weeds, your vegetable plants when they're done. Chop up a bunch of leaves or newspaper or whatever it is. Put them in a pile. Keep it kind of moist. Turn it over, and poof, you've got great garden soil. It's all organic. Uh, Okay. Holy crap, it's 8 minutes to 10 already. Uh, you were Moldy Soldier stationed at Fort Ord, and years later, my dad went to DLI and Naval Postgraduate School. Okay. Yeah, I was at DLI. I remember, now granted, this was 85, I was at DLI, and the Naval Postgraduate School golf course. Okay. Mind you, I was an E3 at the time, so I was probably making, this was 85, I was probably making $500 or $600 a month. We could play golf at the Naval Postgraduate School golf course for $21 a month. All the golf you could play for $21 a month. I haven't played golf in years now. I couldn't get on the shittiest municipal golf course right now to play 18 holes for $21. But we'd go out there 5 days a week and go play golf. We'd go play 9 holes. We were dumb kids and we didn't have any money. It was like, all right, we'll take a 6-pack out and go play 9 holes of golf and be out in the sun and have fun. The good old days. Let's see what else we got. Chris Williams, thank you for the super chat. New Zealand, huh? Okay, I think you're my first New Zealand subscriber. It's never seen that one before. Let's see what else we got. But you're most welcome for sharing whatever I can share with you. That's all the fun of this. Somebody said they get scorpions in TJ Squatchy. If you get compost, you get scorpions. All right, so you've got to live in Arizona, Nevada, or New Mexico. It's the only thing I can think of there. Paul says you can use cardboard for composting. Yes, you can. Prepper 101. I couldn't play 18 holes of golf on the Xbox. Hey, when you got no money and nothing else to do and it's a chance to get out in the sun and do something somewhat fun, you do it. You're out hanging out with guys having beers, you know. David Creason, any advice on gardening when your soil is just rocky red clay? Okay, so you're talking to me because that's exactly what mine is here in East Tennessee. Uh, you could try back to Eden gardening, which is, just piling up wood chips and piling up wood chips and piling. If you plan on gardening in 5 or 6 years from now, go ahead and do that. Okay, and you'll eventually build up enough composted matter. Rocky red clay, you're gonna have. I mean, if you plan on gardening anytime before 2030, you're gonna have to build raised beds. Okay, doesn't have to be deep. Get yourself some 2x6s, 2x8s, or whatever it is. If you can get yourself 8-10 inches deep of combination. I did a whole video on soil building, a combination of topsoil, straw, horse manure, cow manure, and compost. And you're just going to till all that together. You're going to make it. It'll give you a good medium to do it. If you can, find somebody that's got horse manure, composted horse manure. I get a pickup truckload at one of the horse farms here for $10. Usually, you can get cow manure somewhat relatively similar price. Straw, $5 a bale. You're just going to bust that out, spread it out. Topsoil, maybe you can find topsoil from a construction zone or something like that. Where they'll give you a couple of scoops of topsoil in the back of a truck. You just got to get creative, but you need to build soil. The rocky red clay, if you try gardening in it, forget it. You're toast. Not going to happen. TJ say, yeah, right. Arizona, yeah, scorpions. Kevin Grips says, we did the same with an outdoor archery range. It was a blast. Okay, I'm assuming that was talking to somebody else because I don't know what would be the same. Daniel Jones, nice hat, have a fedora and a duster to match. This is my Saturday night party hat. So this is it's a nice hat for keeping my head warm in the winter, but for here it's the Saturday night party hat. Mammy K, Walmart sells topsoil for $1.58. Depending on the size of garden you need, if that's the only place you can get it, yeah. I mean, get it wherever you can. If you can get it bulk, it's going to be cheaper. But if your only choice is Walmart or the local co-op or something like that, or Home Depot, get it where you can. But you're going to need to build good soil. And the easiest way to start composting. Maybe I'll do a video on composting one time if you guys. I mean, there's a million of them on YouTube. So, all right, we are 3 minutes till. What's the name of the soil building video? What did I call it? Christ, it was about a month ago. Here, give me a second. I'll see if I can look it up. It was. Hang on, I'm looking. You know what? I put it in the playlists. Hang on. It is Laying the Groundwork. That was the name of the video. If you go in the main page of the channel here, you'll see under playlists. I put a playlist of all the gardenings in there, or all the garden videos in there. Carmen, thank you very much for the super chat. Greatly appreciated. What do I recommend for snails and slugs? Okay, this is going to be a silly one, but this is literally what it is. Get yourself a little yogurt cup, or something that you can cut down. So maybe it's about 1.5 inches, 2 inches high. So you're just making a little cup. Open a can of beer and leave the beer on the counter overnight. All right. Let it get stale. Around here, I have a tendency to wind up doing that myself. Non-alcoholic beer works fine. Doesn't have to be alcoholic beer. Cheap beer. Doesn't have to be, don't go out and buy yourself some microbrew or something like that. Get yourself a bottle of, you know, natural light or something like that. You'll be fine. Pour it in the cup. Get yourself maybe about an inch deep in there. Put it out in your garden in 4 or 5 spots. The slugs and the snails will go into the beer and literally drown. We have the same problem in our front flower gardens, and I will put 4 out there, one every about 10 feet, and I'll come in the morning and there'll be 4, 5, 6 snails and slugs in there. So beer in a little cup works great for killing snails and snails and slugs. Escargot. So that's by far the best way to do it. Okay, just because they're attracted to it, and it works great. And just throw them out. Let them pitch them out on the driveway and let them bake in the sun. After they're dead anyway, so they drown. Diane S., I put Epsom salt in your veggie soil, also eggshells. Eggshells good for the calcium. Be careful with the Epsom salt. It's only good on certain plants. Other plants, it's not good for. So make sure you look at which plants Epsom salts are good for and which are not. But eggshells are great for calcium, especially. It does take a while. You really need with your eggshells to crush them up very finely, because it takes a while for that calcium to leach in the soil. But I always put, a tablespoon or so of very finely crushed eggshells under my pepper plants and under my tomato plants, because the calcium helps prevent blossom end rot. We are at 10 o'clock, guys. You eat snails, ogres. Daniel Jones, plant marigold to repel pests. Small strips of radishes do that too. Yes, marigolds. I've mentioned this many times. Marigolds are great to keep deer, rabbits out. You don't need a ton of them. Plant, one every 10, 15 feet or whatever corners of your garden. It'll work well. They don't like the smell. Radishes work. Garlic works. Plant that around your garden and stuff. Again, you don't need to have whole massive patches of it or whatever it is, but every 8 to 10 feet or whatever it is along the edge, that'll keep everybody out. Diane, your bell peppers didn't do well last year, nor did mine. That's why I'm going to try different this year. It's starting a little early, see if I can get some stronger plants indoor and see what happens. Daniel Jones, rototilling the garden destroys the grubs that eats the roots. So does something called milky spore. If you spread milky spore, you only have to do this once too. Milky spore is like a microbacteria. Spread that on your garden. Milky spore will kill grubs in your garden. So get yourself some milky spore, spread it out once. It just keeps reproducing. Once you do it once, you're good forever. Do the plant repellents you mentioned also work for mongoose? I don't know, but the first thing that came in my mind was Ricky Tikki Tavi when you said that. Could not tell you. I've never seen a mongoose in my life. So sprinkle Daniel Jones, sprinkle egg lime over the garden soil to lower the pH level. Again, you're right. Same thing I've said. Make sure you get a soil test. Most plants you want to be right around a pH level of 7. But get your worst case scenario, get a soil test kit at the big box stores yourself. Best case scenario, actually have it tested by your local co-op or the ag extension office or something like that. Okay, guys, it is 10:02 and I need to call it a night, and I'm assuming that North Shore Preparedness is going on next. I'm not sure. But after that, it's bedtime for this guy, because 5 in the morning comes quite early. So, all right, guys, I thank everybody very much. We will see you all in the morning. Of course, if you got any questions you want to ask, shoot me an email or leave them in the comments, and we'll kind of go from there. Have a good one, y'all. Pinball out.